Hello and welcome to Graphic Design 2, course number 350. I'm your instructor, Mary Ward, and I'm going to kind of walk you through Brightspace quickly. So this is kind of the home page. Yours might look a little different than mine because I'm actually the instructor, but you click here on the class, and I'm just going to kind of walk you through some of the syllabus and like week one, basically. So there's a welcome message. I encourage you to read that. The lab survey, if you take that here, it's due by September 1st, and then we will be, I will be posting what lab time is on September 2nd. And so you would just take this, it's pretty quick. It's Monday through Friday, which times from 6 to 8, basically, that work for you. And if they all work, just mark them all. Just read the instructions, take that right away. The syllabus, this is going to look a little different, I think, but the syllabus is right here. Let's go over that really quick. So our lab time is to be determined. This is my contact information. I would try emailing me. And then if that doesn't work within a day or two, just text me. So the course description, it will be an in-depth dive into the skills, techniques, software, and design principles used by graphic designers today. You should learn the process of design and layout using Mac computers and Adobe software. We will be covering design principles and techniques in lecture and in our critiques. You'll learn how to set up documents properly and how to get files ready for print. And you should be able to do multiple print items that have the same look and feel, which is important for advertising campaigns and establishing brand. And then with the skills learned from this course, you should be able to construct multi-page layouts in InDesign and use Photoshop to support your designs and make logos and vectors in Illustrator, vector images in Illustrator. So some of the same stuff that we covered in 230 last fall, we will just be kind of expanding on that. So there are no required course materials. I do highly suggest getting a sketchbook, an 8.5 by 11 sketchbook with no, obviously no rules on the pages, please. A personal computer, if you're looking into getting a computer, just talk to me about it first because, if you have a desktop at home, it'll handle the Adobe products, either a Dell or Mac, but laptops, I would, most laptops will handle it, but just talk to me about the computer if you're thinking about getting one, and we can figure that out together. And then the Adobe products here, there's a link here that you can follow to get the Creative Cloud, which will include all of the programs that we use plus a few more that we're probably not going to use, but it's the student version is cheaper than the regular version, I guess. So this course will be taught through Brightspace with a once weekly lab, which will take place in Cowan Hall 112. Please complete that survey, which I've included here. Here's our grading. Quizzes are 20%, exercises are 10%. The first project, the InDesign poster and banner project, is 15%. And then we're going to have a mural or art walk step design, which is going to be done in Illustrator. And it's either you choose the mural or an art walk step design. So you choose either or on that one. There'll be a local business logo project in Illustrator for 10%. And a local business brochure and window display project for 15%, because there's two elements to that. And that will be the same local business that you do the logo for. And then the last project is a small booklet or zine. And that's 20% of the grade because that's going to be, booklets are a little bit more, they're just harder to put together than some things out there. And there's multiple pages to it, so it's going to be a little bit more involved. Here's our letter grading scale, pretty standard stuff. Late assignments will automatically be cut down a letter grade for being tardy. And so projects make up basically a huge percentage of your grade. So missing one or bombing on one will substantially impact your grade. just try to attend lab. It's important. You're going to probably need to. And then there's, the student conduct code and some information for disabled students. Maura Gatch is the Maura Gatch is the contact for that, so her information is in there as well. So that's the syllabus. Trying to move quickly here so we can cover. So now let's go into the content area. There's also going to be stuff like, upcoming events. So here's the lab schedule. Here's some of the videos that I want you to watch. Those might be tweaked a little bit by the time you get in here. Mine automatically goes to week 2 for some reason. But if we go to week 1, basically what you're going to find is a list of things that you need to accomplish, which it looks really heavy, like there's a lot going on here, and it's probably going to be kind of intimidating for you guys. But I'm kind of front loading this class because I'm trying to get us kind of kick started and hitting the ground running just with our first project, because there's quite a bit that we're going to be covering, but things will start to slow down after the first or second week because we're going to have a few weeks to work on our first. We're going to have like close to 3 weeks or 4 weeks to work on our first project, but there's just kind of a lot of ground that we need to cover right up front. So the first week might look a little intimidating to you, but really all it is filling out the survey and then checking announcements for our lab time, because we're going to be meeting in week 2. And then watching videos and taking the quizzes that correspond. The first 1 through 7 videos for the history of graphic design. There's a quiz that's due the 8th, and then the second part of those videos, part 8 through 14, is due the 15th of September. And then I want you to review the poster and banner project, which we can go over in this video, hopefully, if I have enough time. And then research ideas for the first project, the InDesign poster and banner project, and then create 3 thumbnails for both the poster and the banner. And come to week 2 class time or lab time with those thumbnails so that we can kind of get the rough draft done and then, talk about your ideas for your thumbnails and then kind of get the rough draft done and then move on to starting to build things in InDesign within that week 2, hopefully, or at least get through to the rough draft. But we need to discuss your thumbnails to make sure that that they are on point with what I am actually requiring for the project. So, and we can discuss those in week 2 lab. And then so the grading for the quizzes, I just wanted to go over that really quick too. You get 2 attempts on taking the quiz, and then it will be an average of both of those scores. So just remember to not bomb the quiz the first time around, because it will impact your grade a lot, even if you get like 100% the second time. If you got like a 50, you're not going to get a very good grade. So just make sure you're paying attention there. I've also, the survey link for the lab. Just take that one time. You don't need to take it twice. I just put it in 2 different spots, the syllabus. Here's the first 7 videos. And then the quiz, you might have to go into assignments to see the quiz, but you just go into assignments and then quizzes. And then part 8 through part 14 are here. And these are about average 7 minutes a piece. So there's about 2 hours worth of video watching here. Plus, taking the quiz. So you're going to need they're not due till the 8th, and then the second one is due the 15th. So you do have a little bit of time, but I would suggest going on that right away. Here's our first project, the poster and banner project. I'm just going to go into this really quick, go over this. It's kind of hard to go over it quickly because there's kind of a lot of stuff, and it might look a little intimidating to you, but just keep reading through it. Read through it 3 or 4 or 5 times, however many times you need to kind of absorb all the information. And then, it's a gradual process. We'll do thumbnails, we'll do a rough draft, and and then we'll get going in InDesign, setting it up and everything, and it'll all make sense. I just don't want you guys to get overwhelmed. But it's due the 22nd of September, so we're going to have quite a bit of time to work on it. And then that's in Brightspace, and then the following week, I believe is week 5, we will be bringing all the printed materials, such as thumbnails. We're going to turn it in as one package. The thumbnails, rough draft, your printed banner, which it will just be on an 8.5 by 11, and then your poster will all need to be turned in, printed. Tactile type materials will be printed in, and turn it into me on week 5, and then we'll have a critique. So the project description. So constructing an 11 by 17 poster and a 3 foot by 6 foot landscape vinyl banner that advertises the graphic design program here at MSU Northern using Adobe InDesign with remember to include an 1/8 inch bleed on your banner. You don't need that for your poster, and please remember to use 800 or 300 DPI images. And we can kind of go over this in lab, but you need to make sure you're using high quality images. So let's see. So the poster and the banner should both have the same look and feel, and we need to think of this as advertising campaign for the graphic design program. They need to have this, a really coherent visual appearance that kind of translates either from either piece, so that they're establishing a brand for the graphic design program. So please design with that in mind. And I would choose a style from the past. We went through all these videos, we went over all these different styles. Choose one of them. So arts and crafts, Art Nouveau, Rococo, or more of a contemporary style, which would be a style that's current today. But just make sure you are capable of reconstructing that style using your own abilities, because some people can draw or paint, and then the Mac computer and Adobe software. And obviously you can use the scanners to scan in artwork. And then at least one element of your design should be hand done. So this could be painting, drawing, photography, or pieces of nature that you scan in and then turn into a pattern. You can use the pen tool to draw in InDesign. You can also use elements from posters that are considered public domain, but you still need to bring in that element from, bring in some of your own art as well. And by recycle, I mean you can't just take artwork from the past and slap some font over it and call it yours. You need to so before you start your design, we will discuss your ideas and concepts and your thumbnails, and before you even do your rough draft, hopefully, and make sure that everything is making sense here. And be creative, use bravery in your design, but most of all, please have fun. And then here's the process that you would have to go through. You choose a style, you gather inspiration ideas, your thumbnails, we discuss those, your rough draft, and then we'll go into InDesign and start your poster. And then once the poster's done, we'll construct the banner, and then you'll have to print your designs, and there's information here. Just read this through carefully. I'm just kind of surmising right now, and all the due dates are going to be in here. And then create a zip file that includes all the InDesign, the fonts, images, links, and zip that up and put it in Brightspace in the assignments area by the September 22nd. And then the following week we will turn in thumbnails, rough drafts, and printed pieces, the poster and banner. And then we'll hold critique during lab that week as well. And I can kind of walk you through ordering process for banners. Posters are pretty easy to print, so on most printers, so I'm not going to really touch on that, how to print those out, because that's pretty standard. But the banner is a little bit more, advanced, I guess, as far as getting it produced. You have to actually order those either online or through a printer. So we'll talk about that in class. We'll cover that. But anyway, that is the first project. That's week 1. I wanted to walk you through that because actually week 1 is it looks pretty loaded when you go in there. So I wanted to kind of walk you through it so that you guys didn't get too overwhelmed or confused. And then I'll be posting this, in Brightspace. But anyway, that's Graphic Design 350. And I look forward to working with you guys this semester. All right, bye.